Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Art World Confessions. I thought of doing another episode today, but again, I was distracted by the news of this headline in Artnet about a woman, a well-known advisor, who had somehow stolen, I don't want to say it wrong, but basically she had something which her accusers in court called a Ponzi scheme. And I thought of naming this episode Scammers Gonna Scam. And I had to continue with the topic from last week because at some point when I was talking about the artist who had lost their money with this gallery, and I said, you need to know the people who you're doing business with, this article just reminded me, and I said it in the last video, that I was wrong. Sometimes you know people, or you think you know people very well, and it's the exact same people that you think you know, your quote-unquote friends, who you then have to take to court. And unfortunately, that's what happened here. And it reminded me of something in the past where a certain gallery, a Gagosian gallery, and his old friend Ron Perelman had filed suits against each other. And this was as recently as 2012, so like 10 years ago. And after a while, I think those suits were thrown out or stuff like that. I'm not sure how it ended, but again, this was like good friends. So it said here, high-profile art advisor Lisa Schiff has been hit with a lawsuit by two clients and longtime friends, real estate heirs Candice Barash and Richard Grossman. The plaintiffs allege that Schiff, who runs the New York-based Schiff Fine Art Advisory, owes them $1.8 million for an Adrian Ghenie painting that was sold supposedly through Sotheby's. Again, I say supposedly because this is just an Artnet article from this week. And it goes on to say that, they waited like more than a month for this 1.8 million or how much ever it was. And eventually when she saw them in person, she said, speak to my lawyer. And they accused her of like spending tons of money on like designer clothes and this high-flying travel and houses all over and blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking to myself, well, how do they expect her to keep up with the clients, her friends, if she's not buying all this designer clothes, shopping, different apartments here and there, high-flying travel. I mean, this is the world that she lives in and survives on and has to cater to. She can't do it any other way. I mean, she wouldn't be selling art if she had to do it any other way. Anyways, let's see what else I had here. And the other thing from the last episode, the idea that not paying the person on time, it's obviously not exclusive to a gallery setting and an artist setting. These art advisors and their clients sometimes have to wait a while, which apparently is understandable. If the buyer says, I'll pay you installments, then it's going to take a while for them to be paid. But this is a completely different situation from that. She had excuses, apparently, according to this article here, and those excuses, after a while, they weren't settling for these people that were owed the money. So here they are, good friends in court now. And I don't know, I mean, at the end of the day, it seems to me that if you can't trust the people who are your friends, who can you trust? Is this like a wolves in sheep's clothing, or just beware of wolves? Episode 3, like, is every Art World Confession going to be about people who are working out these disputes among themselves related to money, about who owes this one money and why hasn't this one paid the money? And I mean, it's really, for me, it's not about the art anymore. It's about business. It's about flipping artworks. It's about some other transactional nature than actual making of art, the actual creative process. But anyways, this week I wanted to talk about Mother's Day because it's Mother's Day here in the USA. And it's thanks to mothers that we have all these amazing creations, whether they come from artists themselves or whether it's the whole creative process that women are giving birth to and inspiring in men. I mean, these days we have a lot of emphasis on artists who have not been recognized throughout art history, and sadly I've heard from many sources that one of the most difficult things to sell today is a straight white male artist, painter. Forget about artists, just even paintings. But I think in and of itself, the ideal of the good mother, the ideal of a woman who is a strong person in society, who is holding up the community, is something that we should all really aim for and support. I think the fact that we have had such a, and again, this is why I never voted for Hillary Clinton, because I didn't feel she was a woman with female ideals. I felt she was a woman with the male philosophy of how things should be run. She was really part of the patriarchy. And, this screwing each other over for a few dollars is something I see as very Western, as very corporate, as very, capitalist, and we know how that ends for most people. Someone always gets screwed over and it doesn't feel good. Anyways, that's it for today's episode of Art World Confessions. I mean, you can read the article for yourself on Artnet. Maybe I'll link it in the community section, so check that out there. And also, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when next I upload another episode of Art World Confessions. Thanks for being here and have a great week.